Welcome, kindred spirits, to a place of positivity, passion, and purpose. It's a pleasure to have you join us as we uncover the secrets of Ruan instrument. The Ruan is a traditional Chinese plucked string instrument. It is a lute with a fretted neck, a circular body, and 4 strings. Its 4 strings were formerly made of silk, but since the 20th century they have been made of steel flatwound for the lower strings. The modern Ruan has 24 frets with 12 semitones on each string, which has greatly expanded its range from a previous 13 frets. The frets are commonly made of ivory or in recent times of metal mounted on wood. The metal frets produce a brighter tone as compared to the ivory frets. It is sometimes called ruanqin, particularly in Taiwan. As we progress through this video, let's shift our attention towards sizes and uncover its hidden depths. The Ruan comes in a family of 5-size soprano, gain Ruan, lit. High-pitched Ruan, tuning, alto, Ruan, lit. Small Ruan, tuning, tenor, Ruan, lit. Medium Ruan, tuning, bass, Ruan, lit. Large Ruan, tuning, contrabass, Ruan, lit. Low-pitched Ruan, tuning. The Ruan is now most commonly used in Chinese opera and the Chinese orchestra, where it belongs to the plucked string or chordophone section. Let's now zoom in on playing techniques and usage and uncover the hidden gems that lie within. The instrument can be played using a plectrum similar to a guitar pick formerly made of animal horn, but today often plastic, or using a set of 2 or 5 acrylic nails that are affixed to the fingers with adhesive tape. Mainstream Ruan players use plectrums, though there are some schools which teach the fingernail technique similar to that of the pipa. Pipa players who play Ruan as a second instrument also often use their fingernails. Plectrums produce a lower and more clear tone, while fingernails allow the performance of polyphonic solo music. The instrument produces a mellow tone. In Chinese orchestras, only the Ruan and Ruan are commonly used to fill in the tenor and bass section of the plucked strings section. Occasionally the gain Ruan is used to substitute the high-pitched lute. Ruan soloists generally use the dia tuning, as it allows for the easy performance of diatomic chords. Some orchestral players tune to CG dia, which is exactly the same as cello tuning. The advantage of using CG dia in orchestras is so that the Ruan can easily double the cello part. A Ruan ensemble consists of 2 or more members of the Ruan family, for instance, an ensemble of the Ruan, Ruan and Ruan. The wide range covered by the Ruan, its easily blended tone quality, and the variety of soprano, alto, tenor, bass, and contrabass instruments all make Ruan ensembles very effective in playing polyphonic music. As we transition to the next segment, let's unravel the mysteries surrounding history and gain a fresh perspective. Ruan may have a history of over 2,000 years. The earliest form may be the Qin pipa, which was then developed into ruanxian, named after Ruanxian, shortened to Ruan. In Old Chinese texts from the Han to the Tang dynasty, the term pipa was used as a generic term for a number of plucked chordophones, including Ruan, therefore does not necessarily mean the same as the modern usage of pipa, which refers only to the pear-shaped instrument. According to the Pipa Annals by Fujuan of the Western Jin dynasty, the pipa was designed after revision of other Chinese plucked string instruments of the day, such as the Chinese liver, zeng and zhu, or konghao, the Chinese harp. However, it is believed that Ruan may have been descended from an instrument called xianta, which was constructed by laborers on the Great Wall of China during the late Qin dynasty, hence the name Qin pipa, using strings stretched over a pellet drum. The antecedent of Ruan in the Qin dynasty 221 BC 206 BC, that is the Qin pipa, had a long, straight neck with a round sound box, in contrast to the pear shape of pipa of later dynasties. The name of pipa is associated with tanti, a right-hand techniques of playing a plucked string instrument. Pai, which means tan, is the downward movement of plucking the string. Pa, which means ti, is the upward movement of plucking the string. The present name of the Qin pipa, which is Ruan, was not given until the Tang dynasty 8th century. During the reign of Empress Wuzation about AD A copper instrument that looked like the kin pipa was discovered in an ancient tomb in Sichuan. It had 13 frets and a round sound box. It was believed that it was the instrument which the Eastern Jin musician Ruan loved to play. Ruan was a scholar in the Three Kingdoms Eastern Jin dynasty period 3rd century. He and 6 other scholars disliked the corrupt government, so they gathered in a bamboo grove in Shenyang, now in Henan province. They drank, wrote poems, played music and enjoyed the simple life. The group was known as the 7 Sages of the Bamboo Grove. Since Ruan was an expert and famous in playing an instrument that looked like the kin pipa, the instrument was named after him as Ruanqin when the copper kin pipa was found in a tomb during the Tang dynasty. Today it is shortened to Ruan. Also during the Tang dynasty, a Ruanqin was brought to Japan from China. Now this Ruanqin is still stored in Shosoin of the Nara National Museum in Japan. The Ruanqin was made of red sandalwood and decorated with mother-of-pearl inlay. The ancient Ruanqin shows that the look of today's Ruan has not changed much since the 8th century. Nowadays, although the Ruan was never as popular as the pipa, the Ruan has been divided into several smaller and better-known instruments within the recent few centuries, such as yukan lute and kin lute. The short-necked yukan, with no sound holes, is now used primarily in Beijing opera accompaniment. The long-necked kin is a member of both Cantonese and Chazhou ensembles. The famed Tang poet Bei Jui once penned a poem about the Ruan, entitled Having a Little Drink and Listening to the Ruanqin with the Deputy Minister of Linghe Linghu Puizhao Yin Ting Ruanqin. Having a little drink and listening to the Ruanqin with the Deputy Minister of Linghe Linghu Puizhao Yin Ting Ruanqin by Bei Jui Tang Dynasty. Gloom and melancholy compounded with misery and desolation, it's not a kin, and neither is it a zeng. It still plays Yufu songs, and also bears the Ruan family name. Of ancient melodies, who knows them? Upon first listen, all those in attendance are left in awe. Pearls fall on a platter, one by one, shaken pendants of jade jangle, as if to urge the contents of their winecups, or to harbour emotions beneath a grove. As the times change, so too does music. Can this be the sound of former times? Brace yourself for an in-depth analysis as we navigate through Ruan and pipa and its far-reaching implications. A small pipa was found in murals of tombs in Liaoning province in northeastern China. The date of these tombs is about late Eastern Han or Wei period AD. However, the pear-shaped pipa was not brought to China from Dunhuang, now in northwestern China, until the Northern Wei period AD, when ancient China traded with the Western countries through the Silk Road. Evidence was shown on the Dunhuang caves frescoes that the frescoes contain a large number of pipa, and they date to 4th to 5th century. During the Han period 206 BC 220 AD, Lady Wang's Hajin, known as one of the 4 beauties in ancient China, departed mainland to the west and married the Grand Khan of the Huns. The marriage was meant to maintain peace between the 2 ancient countries. On her way to the west, she carried a pipa on the horse. Looking back today, her pipa must have been a Ruan-type instrument with a round sound box, since the pear-shaped pipa was not brought to China until the Northern Wei dynasty after the Han dynasty. However, in almost all the portraits and dramas, Lady Hajin's pipa is displayed inaccurately. The pipa is usually shown with a pear-shaped sound box as in today's pipa, rather than a round sound box. Note that the frets on all Chinese lutes are high so that the fingers never touch the actual body, distinctively different from Western fretted instruments. This allows for a greater control over timbre and intonation than their Western counterparts, but makes chordal playing more difficult. In the upcoming section, we'll be dissecting Ruan-bound Ruan and exploring its intricate connections to our topic. Ruan-bound Ruan. In addition to the plucked Ruan instruments mentioned above, there also exists a family of bowed string instruments called Ruan and Ruan, literally bowed Ruan and large bowed Ruan. Both are bowed bass register instruments designed as alternatives to the chu and dainghu in large orchestras of Chinese traditional instruments. These instruments correspond to the cello and double bass in range. Chinese orchestras currently using the Ruan and Ruan include the China National Traditional Orchestra and Central Broadcasting National Orchestra, the latter formerly conducted by the late Maestro Peng Xuan. In this section, we'll be peeling back the layers of repertoire to reveal its true essence. A famous work in the Zhongruan repertoire is the Zhongruan Concerto Reminiscences of Yunnan by Liu Xingbi, China, 1962, the first full-scale concerto for the Zhongruan and the Chinese orchestra. This work finally established the Zhongruan as an instrument capable of playing solo with the Chinese orchestra. Some works for the Ruan Red Fills the River Zhongruan Concerto Love of the Han Pipa Zhongruan Concerto Narration of Yugan Ruan Quartet Mountain Tune Zhongruan Concerto Sound Poem Beyond the Great Wall Zhongruan Concerto Earth Water Festival Ruan Tisito Water Lilies Zhongruan Solo Night of the Torch Festival Zhongruan Solo Fernwood Nightingale. Some of Lin Jiliang's compositions for the Ruan Flowers open in Feng Wang translation from Knit. Some of Liu Xing's compositions for the Ruan Reminiscences of Yunnan, Zhongruan Concerto, a second Zhongruan Concerto, Zhongruan Solo, Zhongruan Solo, Zhongruan Solo, Zhongruan Solo, Zhongruan Duet, Zhongruan Solo, 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 Zhongruan Solo. Some of Ningyong's compositions for the Ruan Flying Dragons in Drum Beats, Zhongruan Solo composed with Lin Jiliang Camel Bells on the Silk Road, Zhongruan Doran Solo Snow at Langguan, Zhongruan Solo Ancient Tune of Zongnin, Zhongruan Doran Solo Zhongruan Solo. Notable players and composers Gijun Mio Dingwei in Fuji and Rongfeng Mansion Lin Jiliang Lubo Luxing Mio Xiaoyun Ningyong Nini Music Wen Shi Chan Shen Fisu Hanatam Sumin, Kla Wang Zongbing Wei 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 Yu Wijang Ziyang Shang Rongtue. Get ready for an enlightening exploration as we dig into more information and understand its role in the broader context. 7 Sages of the Bamboo Grove Ruan at Melody of Genacum, an introduction to the Ruan on the Chinese Culture Channel in Traditional Chinese Ruan Yahoo Group 5th, 6th, and 7th rows. Get ready for a thought-provoking discussion as we delve into listening and its impact on our understanding. Audio of Zhongruan. Isruan Instrumenta Top. Kakgarai Chinese musical instruments Kakgarinet lutes. I hope you learned something new today. Let me know what you found most interesting in the comments below.